Monday. How's it going? I'm excited to introduce you to our new piece of furniture that we're going to be working on. And it was one of those situations to where when we were leaving the thrift store, we'd already made our purchases, we'd already loaded up the truck, and somebody came and dropped this little gem out in front of the overhead for them to take it in. And so Gene, as you can imagine, was really thrilled that I was pulling him back in there to be able to get some furniture. And I had to go back the next day. But I was talking to Gene about it, and we were trying to date it, that we think it's probably early 40s. His father, and a lot of you may not know this, but Gene's dad and his grandfather both had furniture stores. And a lot of the pieces that he was seeing being sold back, of course Gene was not born in the 40s, but a lot of those pieces that he has seen and been aware of over all these years. But this is a piece that's been done with a Carpathian elm burl wood. Carpathian elm burl wood. And so it's a veneer that's been placed over a substructure of wood. Now, a lot of people, I know there are paint haters out there that you're going to watch this, so I want to explain what I'm doing and why. Because I'm not going to touch the burl itself, but what I am going to do is on some of the front facing, I'm going to add a little bit of black or ebony one-step paint. And because here's the reason why. I think it's going to make the burl drawers show up that much prettier. The other thing I'm going to take you through is there are some of the areas you can see on the tops of this where it's been scored. And that was how they actually applied the overlay of the veneer. And so there are places where it's starting to lift. And I'm going to take you through and I'm going to show you what we need to do to put some wood glue in a syringe and actually go underneath the surface to be able to get that to attach and clamp it. The second thing that I'm going to do after the repair is I'm going to go in, and I don't know if you can tell, but look here, and then on the edges. On the sides of this piece, as well as the feet, they're not in good shape at all. And the wood is not great wood. It's a veneer. And even the insides of this have been faux, so they're just paint already. So I'm going to take that to a black one-step because I think that's going to make the burl show up that much more and it's going to be that much prettier. So I'm going to leave the tops in place. I'm going to paint the parts, the fronts, the sides, and the inside in black one-step. Then I'm going to use my tonic, which is a fabulous product if you have not used it before. It's a hemp-based oil that we use as a furniture tonic that is going to bring this really kind of dingy Carpathian elm back to life. And then I'm going to gild the hardware in gold. So that way the black, the darker Carpathian elm, a waxed finish, and then top it off with just kind of a distressed setback gold handle. It's going to be so pretty. But as all projects, what do we do first? We need to clean it. And a lot of you may say, well, Amy, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of wax on there. It's really distressed and kind of dried out anyway. Over the years of any product, when you think about something like this that's 80 years old, there's going to be Windex. There's going to be liquid gold. There's going to be pledge. There's going to be all these waxes that if you use Simple Green or if you use an oily cleanser, it acts as a surfactant to where the paint will not adhere well. So this is actually a refinisher's grade cleaner that allows us to be able to take all of those oils, pledge, waxes, even a carnauba wax off of the piece and get it down to a clean finish. And so that way I'm going to go in and get started. I'm going to start painting the black. I'm going to repair my, my wood. And then I'm going to come back, clean everything with my clean slate first. Then I'm going to be gilding the hardware and I'm going to take you on this journey. One thing I wanted to tell you, a lot of people may say, Amy, I don't know why you would use the one-step sometimes and why do you use the Miracle Paint another? The Miracle Paint is a water-based enamel. So if you need a really hardy finish, it's great. It's great on trim. It's great on walls if you want to be able to have paneling. It's great on iron furniture outside. But on this particular instance, I want more of a waxy, very satiny looking finish. So in that case, the one-step chalk-based paint is going to be perfect because I'm going to come back and I'm going to put the wax on top of it, put a little bit of dust of ages, and then burnish it to where it's got a really pretty patina that is going to be complementary with the burl finish with the tonic on. So I wanted to tell you that in the beginning. That's my thought process when I go through and I'm actually going to be restoring a piece of furniture. And I'm excited now that we're doing these tutorials to take you through the whole process because you actually see it being done all along the way. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back. We're excited and thank you. I have not commented yet on your comments, but thank y'all. I know, it's like you never know. You're in the process, you fall in love with something and you have a vision for it, and then when you start executing it, you don't really know until you get to the very end. And one of the things that I've been talking about is the fact that should I do a good man is hard to find or the black? And I really think because of the ochre color in the Carpathian Elm Burl that it's going to be better to go with black. And as I shared before on my earlier video, I'm going to be using the black one step because I want to be able to have more of a waxed finish. So we've clean slated everything and we've taped off, and I wanted to kind of go over with you my thought process again on this piece. So the legs, they've done some faux wood graining on them. They don't go with anything, so I'm going to go in and paint them. And so what I've done, we've taped off, you'll see the top and the bottom. So I'm going to let this burl here and here act as a visual framework at the top and the bottom. So I'm going to paint this here because this they've done some faux wood grain painting. They didn't do that great of a job. So I'm going to go on and be painting over that. And in order to be able to kind of encapsulate my drawers, which I do love my drawers, I'm going to paint this area black here. So that way I've got framework here, I've got a black leg, I'm going to keep all of this burl top, back, and front burl, wood, and I'm going to paint the others. So, the other thing is that I want to be able to point out with you, when you're taping, you want to make sure that you get your tape. I use this blue 3M tape. That way it doesn't pull the varnish or the finish off, and it's really good when you're working with lacquers and different things. And I'll come back with the handle of my brush and I'll burnish it, because your paint job is only as good as your tape job. Whether you're painting walls, whether you're painting cabinets, or whether you're painting furniture. You've got to have a good tape job. The other thing is you want to make sure, if you can, to try to have as long pieces of tape as possible. Don't do a lot of different little pieces because then that way it can funnel and go down inside it. So I've got my black one step, and it is a pure black. Again, this is a water-based calcium carbonate paint. I'm going to load up my synthetic brush, and then I'm going to start coming in. The nice thing about it with this black on this dark color, I'm going to get good coverage. So I do like to have two thinner coats. I always think two coats just do better than one. I could probably get by with one, but I'm just going to go on and do two. So when I'm not on the live, I'm going to go in and come around and get the back of my legs. But I want you to just kind of be able to see what it's going to start to look like. Look how I'm going up and down. Even though I'm painting something, again, those of you who are watching, go back and listen to my first video, because I'm going to be part of a purist here, and I'm going to protect my burl, but I'm creating a darker framework of this black to be able to give it some interest, and then cover up the part that's really not that great looking, but they did some faux graining. Always make sure that you go in and do your you're cleaning really good with your clean slate. It'll get all that wax and things off. So I wanted you to just kind of start to see what this is going to begin to look like. I'm going to go across just a little bit. Now, something that I do plan on doing, I want to show you. This was something that was interesting. I'm going to leave my drawers like this, but look at this. This, when you add these quarter round in here inside of a piece of furniture, this is a telltale sign that it was done by a craftsman. And can you see this here? I do have dovetail. Guess what? This is mahogany. So I'm going to put some wood tonic not only on the sides of my drawers and the fronts of my drawers. This is my my burl, but I'm going to do a really sweet design that is kind of more that goes along in the 40s or the 50s. I'm going to use one of my mesh stencils. I'm going to do a design here, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the tonic on it. So that's the fun thing, and the fact as you start to work with it. Now look, I don't want to put this in there, but can you see my drawer? Can you see how pretty that's going to be with the black? Now do you see? Now this becomes a framework for it. It's going to make the burl show up that much better. And then a lot of times I'll come up with ideas of things that I want to be able to do along the way. I like adding the detail to the sides. We're going to gild the hardware. So it's really going to turn out to be a really, really sweet piece. Follow along with me as we work on this. Oh, here's the other deal. Share this video, tag 3 friends, and your name will go in for a drawing. I'm going to be giving away a quart of the one-step paint, which on this whole piece, I probably will use about a half of a can. That way you're like, oh my gosh, because this will cover about 138 square feet. I'm also going to send you a bottle of clean slate, and I'm going to send you a brush. So all you have to do is share this video, tag some friends, and your name will go in for a drawing, and we're going to be giving this away. All right, stay tuned. Y'all ready? I don't know, when I'm working on this, the whole time I'm thinking about what I get to show you. And then even T and I, we were talking, going over in the studio, like, what are the elements of the takeaways that I want you to have as I'm doing these pieces of furniture that I want you to learn? So I'm getting kind of jazzed. We actually just named him. His name is Winston. That was Jean's idea. So we've named our Vanity. His name is Winston. And here's the other exciting thing. As I'm working on it, I'm starting to see the room come together that it would go in. Does that make sense? Because all of that is predicated on the color choice. And it was actually started with the burl. The burl pattern and that color predicated what color we needed to actually paint the body of it. And then that started to design the hardware, and that started to design the art. So one of the things that I love doing, oh, let me just say this. As you pop on here, we're live. If you've never tuned in before, my name is Amy Howard. I'm the mother maker at Amy Howard at Home and the creator, fortunately, of the products and things that you see and that you use. This has been a lifelong journey, longer than I really actually want to admit as far as how long I've been doing this. But I love rescuing and restoring furniture, and I love the fact that we can decorate our homes on the cheap. And there's no other time that you can brag on how much you spend on something that when you have somebody come into your house and you go, look at this, isn't it fab? I got it for $10. So as you pop on here, say, hey, you're part of our tribe. You're part of people that get it. You get me, you get what we do, and you get what we love. And you get the fact that we're trying to save the landfills with American-made furniture that we want to rescue, restore, and redecorate with. So, one of the things I want to show you, there's 3 things that I'm going to show you today. And as you pop on here, say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from, share this video, and tag 3 friends, and your name is going to go in for a drawing. I'm going to be giving away the products that I'm working with today. So, all the products that I'm working with today, I'm going to put in a bundle, and I'm going to send it to you absolutely free to the winner. So all you have to do is share the video, tag 3 friends, and then your name will go on for a drawing. And on Thursday, we will do the drawing, and you'll see it. You'll see your name listed, who the winner was. and then I'll send it to you absolutely free. So, but more than that, hop on here when you see me, when you jump on here, just say, hey, tell me where you're tuning in from. And I see so many old friends. Y'all become my friends over all these years of doing this. All right, so enough talk. I'm gonna be quiet, and now I'm gonna show you. So here's one of the drawers on Winston. And I want to show you something that can be really, really cool to put as an element on the drawers, especially if you're a flipper. If you like redoing furniture, we need to be looking at all the different things that we can add as elements that make it more sellable. That somebody would go, oh my gosh, this could be the thing that pushes them over the edge that says, I have to have this. But here's something else. It adds value for us. If it's going in our home, it's something that we're even more proud of when somebody comes in the room and looks at it. What do? We pull the drawer out, and it's like, it's magic. So, I want to show you something. It's so easy and so fun. I'm not painting over the mahogany that the drawer is made out of. We talked about it yesterday. It's dovetailed. It's got these beautiful finishing aspects to it. It's all solid mahogany, which is a beautiful hardwood, which means that it will not warp. That's why they would always make drawers out of hardwoods. You would never see drawers out of pine on really fine manufactured furniture. All right, so I'm going to be using a stencil. We've already gone on and put this on the Amy Howard at Home site today. This is called a peony pattern. If you've never worked with my stencils before, they are adhesive, they're mesh. They aren't like anything that you would use on a Cricut because you get an incredible amount of detail. Look at this. All of this detail is so great. And to me, I like working with products like this when I'm doing drawers in lieu of transfers because it's actual paint. And I think it makes a major difference in it. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lay down, I'm actually gonna take the design all the way to the edge, as you can see, of my drawer. And the stencil is adhesive, it's reusable. You can reuse it about 15 times. As you're going to be using it and washing it, you can clean it with just water. There's no need to use soap. But then that way you see it will hold, the adhesion will hold it in place. I'm going to be working with my, my ink from a maker studio. You can also get this on the Amy Howard at Home site. And the name of it is Can't Never Could. It's just black ink. I'm going to be working with a spreader because when I am using ink, you can use ink on wood. I'm actually going to come back later and I'm going to use wax on top of it. So I'm just applying just a band of the ink on my spreader like this. And so I'm going to turn my drawer around a little bit. And then at a 45-degree angle, I'm pushing the ink through my stencil. Guys, as you pop on here, please say hey. Tell me where you're tuning in from. And as I share this video, tag some friends, and your name is going to go into a bundle that we're going to be giving away all the products, including the stencil that I'm using today. So it's going to make it a lot of fun. All right, so I'm going to spread this out like this. And all of these patterns with the stencils are where you can marry them up to where it will be one continuous pattern. Now look at this. I'm coming back. I am pushing this ink through this. I'm pressing it to where there's quite a bit of pressure. So that way when I pull it up like this, look at this. I've got this gorgeous pattern. Now, is that not fun? Now, here's the deal. What I need to do, if I were not doing a Facebook Live, I would go on and I would take the stencil to my Tupperware container or to the sink and just rinse it out and lay it up, adhesive side up, and allow it to air dry. Keep it away from paper towels, keep it away from rags or anything, because I don't want the fibrous materials from the rags or the paper towels to get into my adhesion on the back of the stencil. But I can use it again and put it back in the package. But I wanted you to see, I'm gonna allow this to dry down. Don't you love this on top of the mahogany? Is this not the most fun? Now, come over here, and I wanna show you. Here's a drawer that I did earlier. Look at this. Look how this plays off of the black cabinet. Do you not love that? Ah! I got so excited. I wanted to be able to show you. Look at that. And here's the other thing. I did, and you can do this afterwards. A lot of people don't realize it. You can take a little bit of our light antique wax and go over it once you have applied your design on the side of your drawer. Allow it to come to tack, and you can buff it, and that's going to make your drawer glide that much easier. You can also go in and do the styles. You can take the drawer out when you're painting it. A lot of times your drawers may stick just a little bit. Just add a little bit of the light antique wax, and that way it's going to be beautiful going in and out. And the wood loves it. This wood probably hasn't had any of this food on it in a long, long time. So I can very well use the light antique wax. I can use the Mindro beeswax, and I can also use Furniture Tonic. Any of those products are going to be great for the wood, and it's going to have a tendency to seal the ink that you put on your wood. So put in the comments below. Do you like this? Does this make you happy? It makes me happy. Okay, now, I want to show you something else. So something else that we're going to do, let's look at this over here. So if we're looking at the burl and we're looking at the black, one thing that you're going to notice, let me grab my water. One thing you're going to notice is the fact that it looks a little raw, and we don't want it to look raw. I want it to feel like a furniture finish. So come over here, I want you to see this. I apologize for my dirty paper. Do you see the difference? Let's look at this again. Look at this black. See how kind of flat it is. Now come over here. Do you see the difference? This has just a gorgeous finish to it. It's got a sheen. I've added some of the dust of ages that's gotten down in the crevices, and now it's got some depth. So I want to show you how to be able to do that. So let's come down here. I'm going to take my light antique wax. Always offload when I've got it. And when I'm working with my wax, I always use a natural bristle brush. I don't use a synthetic brush. And I'm going to go on and apply the wax. When I've got some crevices like this, I'll just go in and just kind of pounce it and then feather it back out. And then go over the whole leg. Now, what this does is this will act as an ability for you, once this comes to tack, you're going to be able to add your dust of ages. Now, I did this leg, come on over here, I did this leg just a few minutes before we went live, and it's dried down, because when you apply this, if you touch it with your fingers, it's greasy. And we never want to apply dust of ages on this when it's wet and greasy. We want it to come to what we call tack, T-A-C-K. So now I'm going to come back with another chip brush. You always want to make sure your chip brush is dry, that you're applying your dust of ages with. You don't want it to be moist with wax. And then I'm going to come on top of this. This is what's going to give me more of a furniture factory looking finish. And then I'm going to go over all the other black on this piece, which actually you're going to be surprised at how this folds in really pretty with the burl. Now, see this coming into the air? I would really suggest, I can't do it while I'm doing a live, but I would like for you to wear a dust mask or work in an open area with this, just where I don't want you inhaling this. So now I'm going to come back with a lint-free rag. And the T was asking me before we went live, what does this do? I said, it's actually a polishing agent. And so I'm going to come across it like this. It's going to get down into the black. And it's going to set it back. Look at this. Do you see this up here? Look at this. See how it's almost raw looking? Well, now, I'm not going to leave all that on there. I'll come back and I'll start to burnish it a little bit. I want to leave some of that dust down in the crevices, but it's actually getting down into the wax and becoming part of the finish. So it feels, when I come back and I buff it, it has a feeling like this. It sets it back, it's much richer. And let's look, can you see the difference between this and even the side of the cabinet where it's that black? See how it sets it back? And it makes it more complementary with the burl. It's going to be so pretty when we're finished. Because that way I'll be able to get a hand waxed finish on my burl transition that now down into my black that's got that pretty gray, that dust of ages down in the crevices. And here's something else I want you to see. Last thing. Look at the two pieces of hardware. A lot of people don't realize this, but our one-step paint allows you to paint metal. When I looked at this hardware, when I was playing with the black, when I was coming back and adding my dust, when I was adding the element on the side, and I thought, you know what? I'm not crazy about this. This isn't a solid brass piece of hardware anyway. So I'm not hurting anything. I'm not degradizing the quality of it. So I thought, you know what would be better is to be able to come back with just a little bit of one step and using an artist brush, I can come on top of it. I'm not concerned about covering the whole thing, but I'm setting it back. I'll let a little bit of it show, but I'm wanting it to set it back enough so where when I come back and I wax this, I am seeing the burl, I'm seeing my gorgeous new black finish, and I'm gonna see the hardware, because now I'm gonna be able to wax the hardware. I'm gonna be able to add the dust of ages, so that way that finish is marrying up with the wood on the piece, and it's all gonna fold in really nicely. So I just wanted you to be able to see every single element. I don't want to do the complete reveal yet. I've got some work to do. Of how we can take elements of the piece. We don't have to paint the whole piece. I'm like so many of you, I want to be able to preserve, when there's really pretty burl wood like this, I want to see it. But then I want to be able to add certain elements of it where the piece would have been thrown away. That's why the person donated this. It's because the sides, the inside, they didn't look so good. They hadn't watched this video. Wouldn't it be funny if the person sees this video that this was their sweet Vanity that we've now named Winston. It's got these gorgeous drawers, art on the side, and it's really going to turn out to be an adorable piece. So stay tuned. I wanted to teach you those three things and be thinking about that, especially the value that adding the dust of ages has, and adding it to the black that starts to pull all this gorgeous stained wood together with our painted finish. All right, stay tuned, guys. Okay, these are Christmas for me. This is the final reveal. We named our Vanity Winston. So as you pop on here, tell us where you're tuning in from. And as always, when we do these live rescue restores of our furniture, we like to give away. So we're going to give away the stencil, the ink, the black one step, the light antique wax, and a brush to be able to have you be able to recreate the same look. Oh, and the dust of ages that we did on this project. So I'm gonna let T back up just a little bit. I want you to be able to see, look at this. Guys, look. Look at the artwork on these sweet drawers. Is it not precious? It's not that we totally changed this piece in its entirety. We just took it up a level or two. And I love the honesty of our tribe that you say, Amy, I thought it was gonna look tacky. Because my whole intent was to be able to give new life to this piece and make what wasn't good about it to cover it up. And so being able to paint the inside, we painted the handles with the one step. We painted the base, of course. We did our light wax, our dust of ages, and then, of course, I think the cherry on top is all of the artwork that we used, our stencil. All of this is available on Amy Howard at Home. Gel ink, waxed it over. It's absolutely perfect. These drawers glide better than they have in probably 70 years. So, he looks beautiful. He's ready for his home. And some of you ask what we do with the pieces here that we actually rescue and restore. They're going to go to Be Generous. It's an organization that helps women that have struggled and is showing them a new life out of human trafficking. And we love being able to partner with organizations like that to be able to as we see, we're rescuing and restoring the furniture to be something beautiful. God's rescuing and restoring them to be something beautiful too. So we wanted to show you Winston, how beautiful he is, and share this video, tag 3 friends, your name will go in for a drawing. Sharing is caring, and we want to have your name go in for a drawing so that way you can win the paint and all the supplies so you can make a beautiful piece too. Have a great day, everybody. Mwah.